Hello, Hillside. Ron Kool here, Pastor Ron here with Daryl Sieplinga, the president of the council here at Hillside, with an update from last night's council meeting.
Yeah, and even going back a little bit earlier in the month of May, we had our congregational meeting. And so just as part of our council meeting, we discussed kind of what we learned and what we gathered from the congregational meeting. We're really thankful for those who were in attendance, either in person, online, or via absentee ballot. We're thankful for all the participation and engagement that we received. Early in the meeting, Andy Pasma, our executive administrator, provided a great summary of activity over the year. Maybe it was less a summary and more detail, with some detailed information about our involvement and engagement on social media and attendance and those kinds of things. He also gave an update on where we are as a staff in terms of the staff leadership and who's responsible for what positions. And it was good to see that information from a variety of data. We had a couple of really important items for the congregational meeting. One was the selection of new leadership. So we're first thankful for all those who are willing to have their names in consideration for leadership, and thankful for that. And then selected as part of the congregational meeting were these names, and I'm going to bear with me while I read them, just so I make sure I don't miss anyone. Faye Veldman and Rich Avila were selected as worship elder and outreach elder, respectively. Tom Deephouse was selected as project service leader deacon. And then 5 shepherd leaders were selected. Carmen Schrotenboer as VIP. That's a cool title, isn't it? As VIP shepherd leader. Becky Seitzma and Sue Taminga as care group leaders. Sandy Langeveld Blacketer as the older singles shepherd leader. And Chris DeWeer for care circles shepherd leader. And then 2 service leaders selected. Tony Kelly as compassion service leader and Andrea Kelly as project service leader. So great to have all those names selected and new leadership. Thankful for those who are moving off of direct leadership opportunities and finding new opportunities to serve throughout the congregation. Our 2024-25 budget was approved unanimously in the amount of just over $1.4 million. And there were a few questions during that process about whether or not we had accommodated enough resources for staff salary enhancements for the coming year. And we did take that up at the council meeting last night and provided a small stipend to supplement that. We were able to do that because of the great support we've received from the congregation throughout the year. So going back to the congregational meeting, thankful for all who participated and for all who were in attendance.
Yeah. Thanks, Daryl. Yeah, one of the things that I want to give you an update on is the upcoming meeting of Synod. We talked about it again last night at the council meeting. And let me just kind of go through this. So Hillside is a part of a group called Classis Grand Rapids South, 18 churches, and we get together 2 to 3 times a year and have meetings to discuss our shared ministry and hold each other accountable, those sorts of things. Synod is made up of 49 classes like that, and so each classis is allowed to send up to 4 people, 4 delegates. So we're just under 200 people at that meeting in an official voting capacity, and then a bunch of support staff and so on. And so I will be going to the Synod this summer. I'll be representing our classis. We'll start on June 14. That's a Friday. Go to the following Thursday, which is June 17, June 20. June 20. I ask for your prayers. It's a lot of meetings. We'll start most days at 8:30 or 9, and finish most days at 8:30 or 9 at night, with breaks for lunch and dinner, but it's pretty intense. People are coming in from all over the country and from Canada, and so we want to get a lot done. We'll hear reports from missionaries and from world relief organizations, and really there's a lot of time to celebrate a lot of good stuff that happens in the denomination and at that level. And so looking forward to hearing about that and being a part of that. Looking forward to seeing some friends that went through seminary with and have been at school with and so on, connecting with some folks again. Probably the main issue, once again, is going to be finishing up, and I think we're getting near the end of discussing the human sexuality report. We've talked about it a number of times, but again, we want to make sure that we can try to be very clear on this. The denomination has taken a position that is the traditional position, particularly related to the question of homosexual activity. And so what we have said is the same thing we've said since 1973, that while a homosexual orientation is not necessarily chosen, it's not necessarily chosen, we do believe as a denomination that homosexual activity is outside of God's will. And we here at Hillside have said, all right, that's our position as well. That's what we hold to, the traditional position. The question that we'll be thinking about this summer, and it has some impact on us here at Hillside, is, well, does everybody have to agree completely with that position? Or if they say, you know what, I'm not going to advocate for a different position, I'm not going to try to cause trouble in the body or anything, but I don't necessarily agree on that issue. Everything else I'm fine with at church. And so some argue, nope, we have to have complete agreement on that. Some argue, nope, we can have some room for some disagreement. And so at Hillside, we've been a place that's tried to live with grace and try to create some spaces saying, yeah, this is what we believe, but we also respect and love brothers and sisters who disagree with us on that specifically. And so we want to have space for them. So pray for these discussions that we can figure out a way to the best way to go forward. Pray for me that I can stay awake. Again, for all of the delegates, that we can have a spirit of listening and of love and of grace with each other, and that will actually really, and again, people will go, no, everybody there, I think, will genuinely be seeking to honor God. Sometimes we get sidetracked and we sometimes push too hard on our own agendas or whatever, and we fail to hear each other, love each other well. So just pray that this will be a time of God being at work in those of us who are delegates there.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for letting us know how we can pray for you and how we can pray for all the delegates. These things, when there are disagreements, these things aren't always easy. We hope we can do that gracefully and well, and that's our prayer for you. We noted at the congregational meeting and took that up again in the council that staff evaluation season, if you will, is a part of what we're doing. And we had the opportunity for several representatives of council to meet with Pastor Ron to go through some information and data and feedback that we received from the council, from shepherd and service leaders, and from staff to provide examples of what we think are important in Ron's leadership and role and what we think is going extremely well. Talked about how we can better support Ron and all the staff as we work together and give leadership, and we're thankful for the opportunity to have that experience, and we'll do that on an ongoing basis as well. And the staff is going through that process too, to do that in a more formal way. We hope that evaluation and feedback is a part of what we do all of the time, and so we are anxious for people's feedback at any time, but we kind of take a time during this season to do that as we close out the current fiscal year and get ready to start a new year, although things go on all the time. So it's almost an artificial start and stop. In fact, we're really looking forward to next month. The first, I guess, big event of the new season is VBS during June 17 to 20th. Still time to register for kids, still time to sign up to help, and so consider doing that. So once again, we're thankful for Hillside, thankful for the leadership at Hillside, for those who are moving off their official role and into some other unofficial roles here at Hillside, because we're all called to serve in what we do so that we seek to follow Jesus, build community, and love others. So thanks for Hillside for your participation with us and for the leadership that we have to share.
Do you want to play a little goat stacking game to ease your mind? Stack these goats. See how tall you can get it without it falling.
I don't know. All the goats are different.
And we have no sheep.
that.